We've knocked them out of one cup at their place. Can we do it in another at our place? The FA Cup, it's a funny competition. Look, when your Premier League safety is on the line, you don't know whether to take it seriously or not. There are many times where we've been teetering on the edge of relegation and we've pretty much sacked it off. This time though, we're pretty much safe in the Premier League at this stage, right? So, is this the time to give it a good go? We all know Iraola used to take cup competitions seriously with Mirandes and also Vallecano. Can he do it for AFC Bournemouth? This is the big back of the net, big match preview. My name's Sam Davis.
I'm Ben Phillips.
We have got fan cam Phillips here. Ben, how you doing, fella? You all right, mate?
I'm very well.
How seriously do you want us to take this competition, mate? It would be so nice for us to have a run, wouldn't it?
I mean, if we beat Swansea, we're only 2 wins off Wembley. So why not, eh? Why can't we? I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't go all guns blazing and try and get some more confidence in the team after 2 maybe not so ideal results in the league against Spurs and Liverpool. So we might as well just go for it, to be honest.
But look, we've beaten them once already this season. Should we have a look at what happened?
Nancy taking a fight. Hang on. Whoa. Oh, that's that ball. That's that ball. Yeah, that's a pen. That's a pen. That was a pen, wasn't it?
Hey, stormed up.
Swansea can take the lead. Oh! Yes, get it! Come on! Get it! Right, they just spat in my ear.
So yeah, Ben, that was when we played Swansea City back in the League Cup. That was in August. Their manager at the time was Michael Duff. I don't know about you, but is it in all cup competitions this season? In the first half, we've been awful.
Oh yeah, it was so weird. I remember going down at half time. I think we were 1-0 down, or it was 0-0 or 1-0. I can't remember. Yeah. But anyway, the first half was rubbish. I remember saying, like, why have I gone up here for the 3rd round of the fizzy drink cup for us to see, to see us play awfully? But yeah, it was so weird, and QPR was the same. But yeah, I mean, we've obviously turned it around in both of them. But it would be nice to just have a nice, convincing, even Stoke as well.
Stoke City in the first half, we had to bring on Dom Solanke, didn't we?
Yeah, so it was all a bit chaotic, to be honest, but a nice comfortable win, to be honest, would just do me and get us back into some sort of rhythm.
Maybe Andoni Iraola likes the thrill of the chase, I don't quite know, but he seems to like giving other teams a head start. Fingers crossed we can just do it properly tomorrow, Andoni. Look, later on in the show, we're going to be getting some team news and a lot more besides. Earlier on, Andoni had his presser at AFC Bournemouth, but look, if you can't go, don't worry. This match is live on TV. It's on S4C, which is on Sky, Virgin. You can also get it on BBC iPlayer as well. There will be an English language option available, so you don't have to brush up on your Welsh for this particular one. And look, we won't be doing fan cams for this game. There will be a reaction afterwards from the North Stand. But Ben, people can do a couple of things to help this video out, right?
You could probably leave a like if you enjoy it. Even maybe if you don't, just leave a like anyway. And you can subscribe as well, because we've just hit 15,000, so we're off for the next milestone.
Hey, and Ben, what are we near on TikTok? Come on, give me the data, give me the stats. Are we closing on in on any big figures?
So close to 10,000. We hit 9,000 maybe a week or so ago. I think we're about 9,300 now. So if any of you watching now could follow the Back of the Net TikTok, there'll be a slideshow which documents my day on a game day. But yeah, we are getting very close. So any follows there would be much appreciated.
But I've got to say, like Back of the Net, the YouTube channel, it started off in August 2019. You come along with TikTok. It's probably not even a year old, is it? Just over maybe or something?
The first video I made was when Scott Parker got sacked.
You're joking.
On that day.
So we're like a year and a bit.
Yeah.
And you're already at 10th. I think we should put him in charge of YouTube, not TikTok. But look, Swansea City, they of course sacked their head coach Michael Duff. That was in December, I think, after their draw at home against Huddersfield, was it? I think they drew 1-1. And he was in charge for less than 6 months. He had a run of 1 win in 8 matches, with Swansea at the time sitting 18th in the table. He had a 28% win percentage for them. And only Bob Bradley, and we all remember how bad he was, only he had a worse percentage this century. But look, the 45-year-old, he endured a difficult spell with the Swans. He struggled to find consistency this season. And they're a side, mate, that seems to, I don't know about me, like they do raise up some good managers, don't they? And he was one of the people that I think showed promise with Barnsley. But he just didn't seem to get it because they had less possession than they've had for a long time. They didn't play the Swansea way, not like some of the names that we've seen before, because there have been some big managers there, right?
Yeah, and they've got a talented squad. They've got some good players. We know that Jamal Lowe's good in the Championship. They've got Charlie Patino on loan from Arsenal. I know that Matt Grimes is a good player. So they've got a good squad, and it just seems like they always underachieve pretty much every season ever since they obviously came back from the Premier League. Yeah, they've kind of just been on a very, very mediocre trajectory, I suppose you could say. But yeah, I mean, I think they're doing slightly better now. They're on a bit of a better run of form, so hopefully they could turn it around. Because obviously, you know, we've got a still current Bournemouth player there, and it would be nice to see them do somewhat better. And I know that Cardiff at the moment are doing better than them, which obviously they won't like, but. Yeah, they're a weird club if you speak about them.
Swansea used to be the sort of blueprint for even teams like us, actually, to sort of like, you know, this is what we would like to become in terms of, you know, their stadium and the way they play football and the type of recruitment they do in their managerial department. So look, Brendan Rodgers, we all know that he was there. Roberto Martinez, of course, Graham Potter, Steve Cooper went on to big things, and you could say that Russell Martin did as well, because it looks like he could be taking Saints up to the Premier League. Although every time we play a Russell Martin side, whoever it's for, MK Dons, smashed them, Swansea, smashed them as well. But it's fair to say that Duff didn't quite fit the mould. So to replace them, they're at it again with Luke Williams, who was at Notts County. We saw him in the documentary, Welcome to Wrexham, where they were having that ding-dong, weren't they? And he's someone that's been highly rated, and you know they were flying relatively high in League Two, but now he's joined Swansea, where he has got a job on his hands, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can say that their season's done and dusted already, because we've seen in the Championship teams like Middlesbrough this season didn't start off that well, and now they're doing better. Coventry didn't start off very well, and now they're in the playoffs. So anything can happen because they're not that far off. I mean, 10 points in the grand scheme of things in the Championship isn't actually that much, because teams can go on bad run of forms. For example, Coventry, they've got 4 wins in their last 5. They're absolutely flying, but then they could so easily lose their next few, and then they're back down to 12th. So a good run of form for them could transform their season, and we just don't know. Anything is possible in the Championship, because unless it's mathematically done, you can never say never.
Absolutely. So since that departure then, the Swansea fans got the start they wanted under the caretaker manager. An instant impact, really, having a change with a win at Rotherham United, 2-1. They then got a decent point. Stoke's always a tough place to go on a cold Tuesday night, and they got a 1-1 there. Not so good against Middlesbrough, but they were a team at the time who were starting their upwards trajectory. Beat Preston North End 2-1 at home, and then came a match against Southampton, which, I mean, on Boxing Day, everyone's in high spirits. Southampton on the run of their lives, and they got absolutely smashed 5-0. Not the first time they will play Saints in this sequence that we're going to cover. A good 2-2 draw at Coventry, I've got to say, because Coventry are a decent side. They showed that against Leicester recently, didn't they?
Oh yeah, on the form table, Coventry are absolutely flying. So that's a decent point, especially away as well.
And then 1-0 against the Baggies as well, another good result. In the FA Cup, 2-0 over Morecambe, which brings them to where we are now in round 4. 2-2 at Birmingham City. I think that many of them would probably have rather played them when Wayne Rooney was in charge there, I'm sure. And then at the weekend, losing at home to Russell Martin's Southampton, which I know that a lot of Swansea fans did like Russell Martin, but it was a game that Southampton, a lot of people are saying in the first 45 minutes they absolutely dominated it, but Swansea came back into it and they had a few chances and were unlucky not to get something, but that half of football, especially towards the end of the game, should give Swans fans a fair bit of hope. So, mate, how do you see it going at Dean Court then? Thursday night football. If we ever had a Thursday game, we probably have at some point.
I can't remember off the top of my head the last time we played a Thursday game, but there's no reason why, again, we shouldn't be confident, because obviously we are better than Swansea on paper. We're in a better league, in a higher position, but I don't know. I feel like they might be up for it, but I feel like the fact that we're at home can give us a big boost.
Yeah.
But then again, when we were in the Championship before, we had home games against teams like Preston, lost, and again I was kind of saying that they probably won't bring many fans now, so there won't be much of them to be able to get behind the team as such, but we can rotate a bit, not a massive amount with the current squad depth. Obviously Marcondes has gone out on loan, Traore's gone, Rothwell, etc. And the current injury crisis, even though he may have a couple back, which we'll be going on to later, but there's no reason why we shouldn't be confident despite the last few games, because we are the better side. So there's no reason why we can't have a comfortable win.
If you were a Swansea fan and you were there watching the fourth round draw, what would you have been thinking if you see Bournemouth away? You'd just be thinking, oh my God.
Well, if it's a bigger Premier League side, like, then maybe we'd like, oh yeah, nice, United away, good away day. Whereas Bournemouth, it's not like we've got a Premier League ground as such in terms of size and stature and all of that, and it's not, big drive down south when it's probably going to be blowing a hoolie, raining and God knows what. But yeah, I mean, it'd probably be a bit underwhelming for them, but maybe they kick us, man. We never know.
We're a side who've played each other in every competition going. I think in the old Division 4 that then became Division 3, League 2, League 1, Championship, Premier League. We've played them in the auto windscreens, the LDV. We've played them in the League Cup, I think. Yeah, of course we did, early this season. And the FA Cup as well. Not our first FA Cup meeting. Our sides last locked horns in November 2000. That was the first season that Sean O'Driscoll was our manager. The Swansea City manager at the time was John Hollins. We're going back a bit, aren't we? But Bournemouth, we won 2-0 thanks to Wade Elliott and James Hayter. It was played in front of 3,500. Wow. Ben.
Times have changed, eh?
Times have changed. Let's take a look at our head-to-heads between the two sides, and look, it's fair to say that we've pretty much had the rub of the green since the turn of the century. Their last win against us, it was back in 2007, but there have been some good wins. Do you remember some of those Premier League wins? I especially remember the 3-0 on New Year's Eve, where we absolutely smashed them at their place. That was good, wasn't it?
I remember going to Swansea in the Premier League where we beat them comfortably. I'm pretty sure it was that 3-0 there that I'm looking at. But we've had some amazing games of them as of recent. Smashed them in the Championship at home. Going away, going 3-0 down. I remember I didn't go because unfortunately it was a school day. Yeah. But I was tucking into my curry 3-0 down, and then we came back.
Yeah.
To 3-0, like such a weird game. I remember absolute limbs in the lounge when that happened. But yeah, we have had some absolute crackers against them.
So how importantly do you want us to take it? Because there is a bit of a trade-off with us, especially at the moment, with certain players being injured. We're a bit threadbare in place. For instance, Lloyd Kelly, he was named back in the side for our last game and then was brought on. We'll go through teams in a bit, but if you're Andoni Iraola, are you thinking, okay, it's good to get a minute, or are you thinking, okay, let's rest him and keep him sharp because we've got a big game against West Ham coming up at the end of the month?
I feel like the best way to get sharpness in a game is to play, because you can see that if you're trying to ease a player back in, maybe sub him on for the first couple games, then start him, play 60, 70 minutes, get it back in the legs. So it would be good to see him start, get back into the flow of starting a game, doing all of that stuff. And we probably shouldn't be expecting too much of a difficult game because we are a fairly mid-table Premier League side and they're a mid-table Championship side. And if we play the right game, he shouldn't have too much to do anyway. So we could ease some players back in. If there's players like Cherries who's just coming back, I don't think we should risk them because we should have enough anyway with the current players that we've got. But I think players like Senesi should play. Didn't play at the weekend. Get some more sharpness back in for West Ham because that is a big game and they're a great side. But yeah, there's not much that we can pick from, to be honest, in terms of defence. Obviously, Dango, the makeshift left back, is still at AFCON with Burkina Faso. And there's not much else. I don't think Zabani should play, for example, because he's played, give or take, every minute of the season.
Yeah, true.
But we've just got to wait and see. Who knows? Maybe Semenyo could play.
Well, exactly, and you lead us on quite nicely to AFCB team news. So, as Ben just alluded to, Senesi is going to be available again, but Max Aarons, of course, with a hamstring injury, we saw him limping off the pitch in Liverpool for the Liverpool game. He's going to miss it, and it's unknown how long he's going to be out for. The good point, though, a plus point, is that Cherries is looking to be available. He's been seen training, so he could be straight in. So does that mean Lloyd Kelly will be on the bench? Will he be named? We don't quite know. One thing we do know is that Adam Smith will be out as well. Semenyo coming back from AFCON 2. The AFCB player to watch. Well, look, Swansea fans, you're not going to like us saying this, but it's probably Kiefer Moore, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Starman.
Starman for us. Whenever he is brought on, I do feel sorry for him because usually it's sort of, cameos, but when he does come on, like Tom sort of said, he doesn't... We play the same way that we would under Dom Slanky, but he's just not that type of player at all.
No, completely different.
He's a player that likes the ball played up to him so he can hold it up, and he likes the long ball so he can get his head on it. We saw what he can do with his head at Crystal Palace, but it would be nice for him to maybe notch. Because do you think we'll be keeping hold of him?
I don't really know. There's been a few players this window, David Brooks, for example, that people have thought he's going to go out on loan, maybe same as Kiefer Moore, and then they kind of haven't, and moves have gone nowhere really. But it would be nice to see fringe players get some more confidence in them, because then when they get subbed on, because Kiefer Moore, obviously we know that Solanke is number one and Kiefer Moore's number two. If you can have players come on who have scored recently in the Cup off the bench, that's better because they'll have more confidence, and it will allow us to play better. So a goal for him is much needed, I think. I think he needs to start as well, because then it may help if other teams are looking at him that he's playing at least a bit of football instead of just rotting away on the bench, I guess. But yeah, it would be nice to see some fringe players, David Brooks, Sinistera, Moore, Billing even.
And just for them to assert themselves upon the game.
Yeah.
Because Brooks, to be fair, when he's come on, especially in the EFL Cup, the first half he was awful, and then we made a few changes, and then he seemed to come to life. And I just want to see him hit the ground running, and it'd be nice for him to score, like Tom said. In terms of Swansea City team news, I know they've had a few players out injured recently, including like Sam Parker, Josh Key, Liam Walsh, but also Ben Cabango as well. In terms of players to watch, Jamie Patterson. He scored 4 goals and 5 assists. And Yates is their other joint leading scorer as well. And he's not started many games recently for the Swans, but he did score in the last round against Morecambe, so might be available.
There's a goal threat there.
Either way, we know it's going to be huge. Tom never likes to know about the referee. Do you, Ben?
I'm not really that fussed, to be honest, because I feel like there's no major corruption in a 4th round FA Cup game against Swansea. It's not like we're a big 6 side, so to be honest, if they're a decent ref, then all be it.
Let me make you happy. Last season, he was in charge for our Premier League game away at Southampton.
Oh yeah,
and also in the League Cup against Everton, which was 4-1. That's a 5-1 aggregate scoreline there. Darren England FTW. That means for the win, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Right, let's do teams. Come on. Right then, Ben, He's no Tom Jordan. He's better than Tom Jordan. That's all we're saying. Ben, you've got Bournemouth in a 4-2-3-1 here by the looks of it. Interesting. Right, what are you going to be going for?
I think Travers needs to start in goal,
Yeah.
I think he's going to start. James Hill played well on Sunday, deserves to keep his place.
Oh yeah, he can play, can't he? Because he didn't play for Blackburn. He didn't have any minutes in the FA Cup.
Yeah, he was on the bench.
That's
but
right.
Didn't come on.
Excellent. Love that.
Chris Mepham, I think he should play over Zabani, even though he hasn't been great as of recent.
Yeah.
He should still play because I still think he is a good centre back.
Yeah.
Senesi didn't play at the weekend, so he's going to be playing. Milos Kerkez, I've got a left back. Rogue shout, but why not?
He put a picture on either Twitter or Instagram with like one of these pictures that sort of makes you think he's going to be playing. He had that little twinkle in his eye. I reckon he could be. Maybe.
And then midfield, Alex Scott again didn't start on Sunday.
Oh my God, I'm excited.
Get to see Alex Scott ball. Ryan Christie as well, because we saw in the first half against QPR how poor we looked without him.
Yes,
and then he got subbed on, and we looked a completely different outfit.
Yeah.
So I think he should play. And then on the wing, I've got David Brooks.
Yeah.
I mean, he does deserve to start in the cup.
Yeah.
Give a few other players a rest. Sinisterra on the other side, give Tavernier a rest. We know his injury record. Billing at the 10 role. Again, he needs a start, doesn't he? He hasn't started a huge amount recently.
Yeah.
And then up front, the star man, £100 million man, Kiefer Moore.
Let's see him scoring a goal or two. Love that from you, Ben. Right, on to Swansea. And you've got them in a 4-3-3 here, Ben. Go on then. Nate, I mean, if you get this right.
I mean, imagine, especially for a cup game.
Tom Jordan's never doing a preview ever again. All right, just saying.
Right, so we've got Fisher in goal. I've put Harry Darling at right back, Norton, Wood and Pedersen, I don't know how you say it. But they finish off the back four.
Yeah.
Matt Grimes, Allen and Charlie Patino in the midfield.
Grimes, I think you might have mentioned Grimes earlier, but
Yeah.
he's decent. I think he
He's a good
scored
player.
against us in the Carabao Cup.
Yeah,
I'm
and we've
pretty sure he
seemed
did.
in the Championship to always be linked with him
Yeah.
as well. That was really weird, but he is a decent player.
Good player.
Jamie Patterson, Yates and Yannick Balassi. We haven't had that name in a while, have we?
You're going back a bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I think Jerry Yates used to play for Blackpool, scored against us in the 2-2 draw in the Championship. He is a decent player. I like the chant that Blackpool had for him as well. If any fans remember that, shout out to you.
Love that from you. There you go then. That is the Swansea and Bournemouth sides. Are you going? If you are, looking forward to seeing you at Decor in the North Stand, mate.
Yeah.
I'm in the North Stand with the massive... Ben, I'm going to ask you a question now. I bet you can guess what it is. What's your prediction? What are you going for?
I think we'll win 3-1. I think go 2-0 up, they'll get one back, and then we'll score 70th minute, and then it can all be fine, and all be happy, and then we're 2 wins away from Wembley. Maybe we can start singing the chant. Wembley,
Wembley.
We're the famous AFC Bournemouth.
And we go to Wembley. I'm going to go for... last time we played Swansea at home, we smashed them 4-0 in the Championship. Mm-hmm. And that was... when like Leif Davis had a world even appearance. He played on the left side and he was brilliant. In the second half, he especially was. I think there'll be goals, or just 3-1, or do I just go... You know what, I'm going to temper my emotions and go 2-0.
Okay, that's all right.
2-0.
I'll take that, clean sheet.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 2-0. What do you think? What do you think? Stop whatever you're doing. I know you're watching this, but just scroll down a bit. Or if you're watching on full screen on YouTube, just press that little icon to come out of it. Scroll down, because you can still watch and listen. And then type in your prediction. We'd love to know, and we'll heart the ones we agree with, which will be any Bournemouth win, to be honest. Swansea fans, look, there'll be a match day vlog coming out on the day after. Look, it might be a good game. It might be a good game, so you might want to subscribe, as Ben said earlier. Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on.
It's been a pleasure.
It's been a pleasure. And look, you can do all the like and subscribe things, but one thing would make Ben really happy on that app that I just don't understand, by the way. Like, anytime I go onto TikTok, it's just confusing. There are icons everywhere. Coins?
Yeah,
Coins?
I don't understand it.
And then I went on some live mode of someone getting ready to go to work. Like, what's going on this app? But get on the TikTok, eh?
You get to see my beautiful face.
Yeah, and how do you find it on TikTok? What do you look up?
It's the same as all the other socials, at AFCB Podcast or Back in the Net. Whatever you put in, I should be there.
I don't understand. One day I'll learn it. Look, thanks so much for tuning in. Really appreciate it. Make sure you put a like on this video for Ben, if for nothing else. And we'll see you at Dean Court, up the Cherries.
Up the Cherries.
Come on, lads!